Live from Southern California, you are watching the North American Hockey Authority, presented by Today's California. And I am Craig Campbell with todayscalifornia.com. And I am out in-house today. We got Ed Heathouse down below. He is the AHL off-ice official for the Coachella Valley Firebirds. Up in our left-hand corner, we got Charles McPike III. He is a credential for the Firebirds and also engineering show today. And we have a guest with us. We got Doug. We understand that he is a fanatic. We're not sure what he's a fanatic about, but we're going to learn a little bit more about him. And in fact, Ed, why don't we just start right off and tell us who's sitting next to you?
All right. Well, let me take a moment and introduce Sweet Dougie Craig.
Sweet Dougie Craig. He has my name? Oh, I love this man.
He is a Philly fanatic, but not that one.
No, unfortunately.
We've been doing the hockey thing together for about 20 years at least, if not longer. Although he doesn't look like he's old enough to have done that. Trust me.
You do have quite a baby face, Doug. I'm very jealous.
Clean living, baby. Clean living.
He tried to tell me that he played a little bit of hockey, but he's got all his teeth. I don't see any scars on that man at all. So we're going to definitely have to do some fact checking.
You know, this kid spent a lot of time in makeup today, so that would possibly explain the lack of scars.
Yeah, looks like he had hair added. That looks good.
Yeah,
looks good. Hey guys, before we progress too far, let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing here. If you're watching, you are watching live the North American Hockey Authority. We kind of break things up into different segments. Our whole concept here is to elevate all of our hockey IQ, maybe learn a little bit. About a 30-minute show. We invite you guys to leave us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from or any questions that you might have. Whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching it on a replay, we're checking those comments and love to respond to you, the fan. So it kind of works like this. Well, first of all, let me ask you, Charlie, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Sunshiny day here in the valley. We've had days of wind and rain, but we've also just had these perfect 78, 80-degree days. So to all of the rest of America here, good luck and eat your heart out.
Hey, guys, let's get into hockey. History matters. We always start off with these different segments. And, of course, history matters because Ed, well, I don't know. We won't talk about Ed's history, but history matters. It's very important for all of us. Tell us what you got, brother.
Well, you know, first off, thanks to everybody for joining us. Love having Dougie in studio. I had, once I found out he was coming to visit for a little while, I thought, let's take a deep dive into the Philadelphia Flyers. And let's look at both the Flyers' history and the history of the NHL. Because before 1967 and the big expansion that the NHL had, there were only 6 original teams that survived World War II and the Depression. 6, of course, Boston, New York, Detroit, Chicago, Montreal, Toronto. And by the time the mid-60s came around, if you think about it, 6 teams, that doesn't allow for a lot of talent. And so the rosters never turned over. The NHL could never get a TV contract. And an upstart league called the Western Hockey League, the WHL on the West Coast, was beginning to ink TV deals and kind of push the NHL out of the market. So the powers that be decided that in 1967, it was time to literally double the size of the National Hockey League and go from 6
to 12.
So they added Oakland, Los Angeles, to take away that West Coast market that the WHL was talking about doing. They added Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, natural rivals. And then they added the Minnesota North Stars.
And the Whalers.
Who's the last one?
Kansas City.
Oh, St.
Louis.
The St. Louis Blues. How could we forget about the St. Louis Blues?
Oh, I forget about them all the time.
Me too. I don't even know who we're talking about.
John Hamm doesn't.
So, yeah.
I really think teams shouldn't be using colors. I feel like that's a woke action, a little discriminatory. Blue.
They shouldn't have named a music genre after a color then, I think.
Oh. Well, there we go. Now we're going way back in history. I wonder which came first, Ed, music or hockey.
Pretty sure.
Close.
So in 1967, 67, 68, NHL went from 6 teams to 12, as we discussed, and that brought about the Philadelphia Flyers.
Amen.
Amen.
Let's go Flyers.
So,
Hey, Doug, since you are a Flyer fan, I'm sure you brought your script. Tell us a little bit about your Flyers. What's going on with them?
Right now or in history?
Well,
Because
sure. Where history matters, you can take it all the way up to right now if you like. What's going on with your Flyers today?
Today, we are under a second term of a controversial head coach. He's got a young squad. He's a hard-nosed man, and he's getting a lot out of them. We came in with very low expectations this season, and we are clinging to the 3rd spot in the Metro Division at the moment.
So the controversy is he's not winning. People don't like him. What's the controversy?
There you go. It's a hard personality, and in a market like Philadelphia, there's a lot of sparring and jabbing. There's a lot of expectations from a fan base. And when you're talking about John Tortorella, there's always going to be controversy.
I was going to say, are we talking about John Tortorella?
Sure.
Do you have that clip, Charles?
Well, we don't have a clip of John. What we do have a clip of is other parts of history of the Flyers themselves, which I'll let them lead into.
Okay, well, let's continue to talk about the Flyers and the history of the Flyers.
How long you got? We can go all day.
Well, we got about another. Well, I think your segment lasts about 23 seconds.
I'll squeeze it in. Less.
I'm gonna wrest a little control here, and
Take
because up
control.
to 1967, when the team was announced, they built a brand new arena called the Spectrum. They built it right on Broad Street in Philadelphia. And when the owners went to the bank and asked for money to get the expansion fee for the National Hockey League, which was $2 million back then, the banks were like, "What is this, lacrosse? It's hockey stuff." What until they went, they got down, went through 8 banks, they got to the last bank, finally got the money. So when they realized that they had the money for the expansion, they needed to name the team.
That's right.
And I'd love to explain how the team got its name, but we've got a video clip that does it a lot more quickly and a lot more concise than I would.
All right.
Bring it on.
Here's that clip.
We can't hear it. I don't know if they can hear us, so I'll just whisper. Yeah, I don't know. But you saw the clip, which is why.
Well, that's a cool TV.
I like that.
Yeah.
Color TV.
Weighed more than the people carrying them. These are the potential nicknames.
But not the Quakers.
I like the Bruisers. That would have been some foreshadowing.
The Liberty Bells. I don't know about that one. That sounds really bad.
For the ladies team.
I know. The Liberty Bells.
Oh yeah, just so.
And there they are, the Liberty Bells.
All right, so we got to be through that clip by now, right?
Not quite.
Charlie?
You want me to stop it?
No, I didn't know if it was still going.
No, it's still going. You got a few seconds left. About 20.
There's that TV again.
Yeah, it's barely in the screen now. What happened? Oh, it's getting old.
They went with the. They didn't go with the 8-year-old kids spelling the Flyers.
Silly.
So does this have sound, or are we just looking at the visuals?
Okay. Well, I didn't realize that they still awarded the kid the TV.
Yeah.
When you announce that you're going to give away a TV, you'd better darn well give away.
When you see that thing, you realize, oh my gosh, I don't want to win that. How do I get that home? It's already hard enough, but think about picking that sucker up and taking it upstairs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, those don't go upstairs.
Cathode ray
No
tube.
wonder they were giving those things away.
Living room only.
Just built the house
Welcome to
around it.
1967.
Build a house around it.
So we got the Flyers out of that 1967. Is that what you're telling me? These new teams came about. We went from 6 to 12, creating a little more competition. And I assume that was sufficient to escalate the NHL in the eyes of television or other things. Is that true? Is there more history behind it, or are we moving on?
It did work. It enabled them to get a network contract for the entire league, and adding not only Pittsburgh and Philly, but Los Angeles and Oakland made the league nationwide.
Oh.
And it was the nationwide appeal that they really needed to have in order to ink that national contract.
Now, were they taking buses, or did they fly across the country at that point?
Sure, they flew.
I'm sure they did too. I just thought you might have had a bus story for me there, but that's okay.
Well,
I'm always fishing for something, you know.
the
It's
beauty
in history.
the beauty of the nationwide expansion and the resulting contract with CBS, without all of that, we wouldn't have Peter Puck.
Oh.
And let's be honest, that's a watershed moment in the National Hockey League.
Hey, do we have a rule segment with Peter involved today?
No, Peter, but
Oh my gosh, I miss Penny and Pete. That's sad.
For those of you who have tuned in the past, you do know that Peter Puck is brought to us by Pact Advertising in Toronto and www.peterpuck.com for all your merchandise. Thank you, Dave Field, for sporting the Peter Puck patch on the front of your Firebirds.
Oh
jersey.
my gosh, that was so cool. Love him coming in, watching the show. I didn't even know he sewed. That was what was really exciting. I just dropped off a few things over at his house to help us out. Thank you, Dave. Really appreciate you. Hey, you guys, you're watching the North American Hockey Authority, just in case you're tuning in now. It is live from Southern California. Ed Heathouse up at the top with Doug, and we got Charles McPike below. I'm Craig Campbell with todayscalifornia.com. Different segments. We're just talking about hockey, trying to elevate all our hockey IQ. Interested in your thoughts and where you guys are watching from. So what are we going? Are we moving to the next segment, guys? Or are we still stuck in history?
We're still stuck in history,
Here,
Craig.
let's go. Let's talk about it.
You love it when that happens.
I do.
Well, we learned how the Flyers were named, but we also wanted to learn how they became the Broad Street Bullies. And the first hint of that is that the Philadelphia Spectrum is built on Broad Street. That's where the Flyers opened up. And then the new arena, which is called
Still on Broad. Wells Fargo.
it's Wells Fargo.
The Wells Fargo Center.
It's changed. Is it a different?
They're
Anyway.
they're always buying each other.
You know, but anyway, both arenas that the Flyers have prospered in have been, happens all the time.
Hey, there's a stick right there, Doug. Just use it.
I was just say
He's used to get-
exactly what you need.
He's used to getting checked in the back of the head. It won't even bother him, but it does slow him down a bit.
So what's interesting is how they got the name Broad Street Bullies, because part of the expansion you need to understand is that when the NHL expanded, doubled the number of teams, you'd think that they would intermix 3 original 6 with 3 expansion teams and then do the same thing out west. No, not at all. They kept the original 6 as the East and all of the new teams, whether they were East or not, as the West. So first year, 68, second year, 69. Philly did well, but got swept by the St. Louis Blues in the playoffs both years. And
Got to watch out for those colors. I told you.
in 1969, after getting swept, the owner declared, and not only did they get swept, they got pummeled.
Yeah.
The Blues left them black and blues.
Mhm.
We're talking alcohol now.
Not yet.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
well, you were talking about, well, the booze.
No.
No, left them black and blue.
Yeah, no. Stay with me, guys. We're just moving this thing along. We're still in history, and that's really interesting.
Starting in 1970, ownership decided they were going to go a different route when they drafted people And they didn't draft just for speed or skill. Too many S's in there for a guy missing a tooth. But they drafted for size and toughness. And they wanted to become a place that was feared, that players didn't want to, go into that barn. And boy, did they create that. And it culminated in 72 when they literally rewrote the record book in terms of penalties.
Oh, wow.
And then came the movie Slapshot.
Which is a lot of influence of the Philadelphia Flyers.
There you go. And they got the Hanson brothers.
In 1967, the NHL rulebook was this thin and this wide. And by the time 1974 came around, 75, the new revision of the rulebook, it was this thick and it was this wide.
Mm.
And I'm not saying that was all Philly, but it was a pretty darn good chunk of it. And if you ever want to look up the Super Soviet series and the Red Army's visit to Philadelphia in 1976, the Cold War didn't involve just the United States and Russia. It also involved Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
The Red Army team, which was undefeated in the previous 3 and would go on to win the next 2 Olympics, came into Philly having beaten the Rangers,
Mm-hmm.
tied the Bruins. They tied the Canadiens. They beat the Bruins. So they came in undefeated into Philly. And it was an ugly game. It was the Flyers were so brutal. The Russian team skated off the ice after 12 minutes, hid in the locker room, refusing to come back out until the owner of Philadelphia, Ed Snyder, rest in peace, went on and said, okay, here's the deal, boys. You don't play this game, you don't get paid for the whole trip. $200,000, take it or leave it. Come out on the ice or take your commie stuff and go home.
The power of capitalism.
Even Russians are capitalistic when there's a paycheck involved.
Hell yeah.
And it took Philadelphia to prove that. So
I can't think of a better thing than to move into a rules segment after the Flyers history that we've had here. Are we talking about any rules today, or are you still talking about history?
No, well, let's. This is the perfect time to segue.
I like it. So we're moving into the rules segment. Of course, we talk about different things that are out there. I don't know what we have on our list today. Ed, throw it back to you.
Raise your hand, folks, if you think that the national anthem is in the rule book, that it has to be played before the game. You don't think the national anthem has to be played? Okay. Well,
no. Much like the Pledge of Allegiance doesn't need to be in high school or grade schools, but that's a whole different topic.
Oh my God. Is it 2024 already?
I know. Future comes at you fast, big boy.
Well, noticing that during the Vietnam War, apathy was an all-time low in America. The ownership of the Flyers noticed that during the national anthem, a lot of people would continue to talk amongst themselves.
Mm.
They would walk around the concourse and they wouldn't stand still. They wouldn't remove their hats. I mean, it's just total disrespect. So to shake things up, they didn't play the national anthem before the games, the important games. And what they did, the owner caught a clip of and fell in love with Kate Smith singing God Bless America. And the Kate Smith rendition of the recorded version, it was probably a tape or a record, was played before the games. And they noticed that the Philly fans actually respected that and kind of sang along and they were respectful. Well, then as it turns out, they started winning. To the tune of, by the time 1974 rolled around, the Flyers were 36-3-1 with God Bless America being played instead of the national anthem. So, Game 7, Stanley Cup Finals against the dreaded Boston Bruins. 3-3 tie. Series is tied. Game 7 in Philly. Who did they trot out for the national anthem? No national anthem. They brought Kate Smith live. Now, when you see the clip, folks, because we have a clip of this coming up, keep in mind that there's no DJ back then. It's a guy on an organ who plays and accompanies her while she sings.
And they're 250 feet apart with the delay.
Yeah, they're all the way across the arena. And the ovation was so loud and so long, he had to just kind of keep filling in until she got to sing.
Okay.
Charlie, did we break this into 2 clips, or are we doing it all in one?
I broke it into 2 for you.
Okay, good. We'll see the introduction, and the organist have to extend things while Kate says hello to the crowd and throws a little Philly punch.
All right, here we go.
She was not a demur.
Oh my God, it just doesn't scream the 70s. I don't know what it does. My grandmother had those shoes.
Did you see the record at the bottom?
Oh,
the record of her singing or whatever it was, 3-1-1 or something.
Oh, 36-1. I should have mentioned that before. Oh.
Unfortunately, it hasn't worked since.
Yeah, it's that.
She's got, well, I won't say it.
He's just doing chord progressions to fill in the time. This is great.
The organist is just dying up there.
Got the finger guns. They're like, you guys. I'm here all week.
All right, this is where we cut.
We're not supposed to.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, how funny is that where the organist has to try to fill in that extended gap?
Mm-hmm.
17,000 people go nuts.
And of course, you know, they love the performance, standing room or a standing ovation. What we're going to see is her hitting like the last 3 or 4 chords of that song. And as she walks off, notice that both Phil Esposito, the captain of the Bruins, and Bobby Orr, the future Hall of Famer, both meet her on the carpet to have a conversation with her.
Is this where the rules change and the Star Spangled Banner gets written into the rules?
No, but how odd is it that a celebrity comes in, does a performance of God Bless America or the national anthem, and the captain of the visiting team and the Hall of Famer of the visiting team stop her as she's trying to exit the ice in order to have a conversation with her? How odd is that?
I don't know. I wonder what the conversation was.
Yes.
I'll tell you when we come back.
All right. You want us to play this next bit?
I'll tell you when we come back. Yes, please.
Yes, please. All right.
Look at you.
I love the manners, boys.
Like an old pro.
Ending chords. Big voice. Big mouth.
Seems like my grandma, too.
Here she's walking off. Oh, not yet.
St. Agnes Church.
Now she's walking off with the assistance of her aide. There we go. On her left, you will see,
She gets checked, knocked down, and stepped on.
Look, see the Bruins?
Wow.
Her?
Did you see their skates?
Oh, yeah. They look like they're from the 70s. Oh, wait.
Those are the ones we have right now.
So, Kate's walking off. You see Phil Esposito skate up, Bobby Orr, both Hall of Famers. Esposito looked at her and said, "Not tonight. You will not sing tonight." And he made the comment, I didn't want to say the lady, but you're not singing tonight. You're done. Please leave. Everybody thought he was congratulating her on, a moving, stirring performance.
Phil's not like that.
Yeah.
There you have it.
And, the fat lady doesn't sing here tonight.
So back to the original question, is the national anthem and Canadian anthem required at a national hockey or a professional hockey game? Is it in the rule books?
Nope.
I knew it.
Didn't think so.
I know. Hey, you and me. We got that one, baby.
That's how they got away with doing West America.
Oh, I have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Well, watch us do it. Hold on, guys. Let's show you how it's done.
Oh, you guys are pros. Whatever. Shut up.
Be careful. You're going to knock your camera over. We've seen you do it.
So that video came courtesy of CC17926, the weirdest YouTube channel I've ever seen. But in the For What It's Worth department, the Flyers went on to win that Game 7 against Boston, their very first Stanley Cup.
In your face, Phil.
There you go. And she's probably still singing. Oh,
Say that again, Doug.
Pardon?
Say that again.
First expansion team in the NHL to win a Stanley Cup.
Uh-huh.
They repeated the next year.
Yep.
Haven't done it since.
That's it?
That's it.
They've won one Stanley Cup?
Two.
Entire life.
Two.
We've been to the the finals once since in 2010. The Black.
So,
You did. Yeah, you did. 16 seconds, baby.
So Doug needs another win to get 10 years older because he's stuck at 20, basically. 2 decades. He can't get out of it. It's like Groundhog Day for him.
That makes a lot of sense in my life, actually.
I know. I knew it would. So I think you need to get those Flyers going for you, brother.
I got a feeling we need to bring Kate Smith back. I don't think they've won since Kate did the national anthem or the God Bless America. Just saying.
That's going to be quite a project to unveil.
Yes. Yeah, we won't go.
Oh, guys, we got somebody from Indio.
Hey, how you guys doing? Love you, AC.
Thanks for watching.
Hey, AC.
See you at the rink.
See you at the rink.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, a little bit of rank tonight. Of course, we'll get into hockey talk and Coachella Valley Firebirds soon, but we do have San Jose in town tonight. I think starting at 7 o'clock. Kind of excited because I get out there to shoot today and see all you boys there. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Are we moving into Beak of the Week? Can we get past rules?
Yep.
I mean, it's still you talking, Ed.
Yep.
So here we go. It's the Beak of the Week, one of my favorite topics.
One of my favorite Flyers is Travis Konecny.
His favorite.
Connect me.
TK. Oh, see, TK and I go way back, but this, I got nothing. Is this a bad
It's an indictment of the Michigan public school system.
Philly cheese sandwich? Is this a bad time? Okay, apparently,
We're gonna fix that at lunch.
Apparently, it can eat one. So, TK playing against rival Pittsburgh, same state, geographically close, had some elite chirps that I wanted to feature on Beak of the Week this week.
Elite chirps. Are you waiting on me to? Are you waiting on me?
Could I have elite chirps for 600, please, Charlie?
All right. Here I am doing my best, Mr. Trebek.
Now Hornquist has gone into the box because Letang's gone to the dressing room. That's why Hornquist is in there, documented.
That boy Horny served that one, bud. You're useless. Morning night, not last night. Come on. Hey, so PK, we lose, you go. Yeah.
Boy, Patrick is able to.
Ooh, nice.
Johnson with that huge hit in behind Matt Murray. Good hard hit.
Hey, attaboy Johnson. Attaboy Johnny, eat up, bud.
He's the one that made the hit.
Eat up.
Eat up, bud. Eat up.
Oh, you got a two by four us in the head again? Oh, Malcolm? That thing's a weapon, buddy. Holy. Take those handcuffs off you.
A 2x4.
You nerd.
You nerd. I love it. Oh my God, I love that.
They sound so weak. You know, it's like, oh, you're such a nerd. You know, hit me in the head again.
Well, it was
It's too funny.
for that, Craig, because what he said was, "Take those ear cuffs off, you nerd."
Ear cuffs.
This guy's playing in a National Hockey League game, and he left his earrings in.
Well, they do that in football all the time now. I'm always shocked that actually, you know, you see it in the NFL all the time, the jewelry through those helmets. I still haven't really figured out how that works.
That's funny.
I can't
You lose
either.
a $50,000 chain on one play.
Yeah, or just lose your ear on a play. That would be bad.
I have images of one of the refs from one of our AHL games picking up a chain off the ice after a fight.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And it was an opposing player's chain. It was silver. I can find that picture, but yeah.
Pocket. Boom.
Right to the pawn shop.
Yeah, I have it right here. Let me put it on. We'll just carry the story along the way here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
All right, well, that was it was at the Beak of the Week. Those were kind of fun.
he wrapped it up.
You know, it's the game within the game, and we've talked about it. Chirps and beaks, and we all do it. It's all kind of fun. I love our Coachella Valley Firebird fans. Maybe we talk of Firebird talk. We've got some pretty good chirpy signs and pretty good crew out there. I've also seen them get a little Hanson-esque, a little rough. Our group in that arena can get a little edgy, but for the most part, they're pretty good. They're pretty kind so far.
Gotta make it look mean.
AC, you're right. Jewelry can be dangerous.
Especially if you wear ear cuffs.
Ear cuffs, specifically.
Yeah,
So- Firebird talk. Let's go. Yeah.
Oh.
well, you know, right now we are fourth in the entire league. We are atop the Pacific Division. Of course, we came from, you know, fifth place, and we've made an incredible run. We were struggling a little bit at home, but we seem to be cleaning that up. We're struggling back to back. That still seems to be maybe a sticking point for us, but we are hitting on all cylinders. And of course, we're playing the last place San Jose today, but that doesn't mean anything. Hockey's hockey, and that game needs to be played out just as hard as any other game. And I'm totally looking forward to being back down there on the ice and shooting and watching, and also seeing Ed. I always run into Ed. He's always in a suit and tie. He looks way different.
Very professional.
Yeah, he looks very professional when he's there.
Mm-hmm.
Eyebrow liner I can
That's what
borrow.
you need.
Yeah.
For you, it's more of a nip and a tuck.
Nip and a tuck. Oh, jeez.
The hair's good though. Get the flow.
Got the flow.
You guys kind of have a similar look, to be honest. If we were really going to discuss it, yeah. Can you turn to the left?
Like this?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Boy,
You boys both have mains.
I've got a tournament in Vegas next week, so this is going to be a mullet. I'm not brave enough to pull it out yet.
Okay. A tournament doing what?
Playing hockey.
Okay, great.
AC says nice hair. So there you go. Hey, let's talk a little bit about our Firebirds. What are you seeing lately, Ed? Also, Charles, you've been there shooting lately. Are you seeing any change in lineups? Are you seeing things? Do you think we're skating better? Are you seeing goaltending better? Is there any one thing that you could really point to in our last run that we've been making over this last month, really.
Before I monopolize, Charlie, I'm gonna let you go first if you
Yeah, that's totally fine by me. I think I said this the last two podcasts. Their cohesion and their ability to recognize where each other is going to be off the puck is really kind of at a space where we were last year about this time. And that's just so much fun to see because they're having a good time. They can rely on each other more. The trust builds, and then the plays get more complicated and just better. And then the creativity flows. We were seeing at the end of the year just these spectacular sequences that you're like, how did they even start that? And then they end up with a goal. So, yeah, that's all I can say.
Well, and I'll dovetail with what Craig said. Firebirds are first in the Pacific Division, fourth in the league overall. And as far as the Western Conference goes for playoff seeding, they're second to the Milwaukee Admirals, who just ran off a 19-game unbeaten streak. Not one of those games was even won in overtime. They were 19 consecutive.
That's serious.
Is that a record of some sort in the AHL, or do we not know, or do we know?
27.
27.
Held by the former Norfolk Admirals from the 70s or 80s.
Huh.
They missed it by 9, but hats off, folks. 19 games in a row. Unbelievable. So that was a rocket ride up the standings for Milwaukee. If we face them in the playoffs today, they'd have home ice. So we still got time to catch them. We're only 6 points behind them. And that takes care of the whole Western Conference thing. But I want to talk a little bit about the Pacific Division. And as Craig said, we've got the San Jose Barracuda coming in.
Mm-hmm.
The baby sharks, as I like to call them. Firebirds, I've given them a hard time in the past about their lackluster record on the second half of back-to-backs. Well, we had the advantage tonight because the Barracuda played San Diego last night in San Diego, and they beat the Gulls 6-2. So hopefully between a long game last night, bit of a bus ride up here, maybe they catch a little sun, get a little tired from too much exposure. Either way, Birds need to come out hot tonight.
Yeah, they do.
Keep that puck moving and just melt the legs off the baby sharks.
Sounds fine. Yeah, we can melt a leg off. Do you think Drieger's going to be in the net tonight?
I would expect to see nothing but Chris Drieger between the pipes this evening. We don't have another game for a few days. So he's rested. He's number one. We need the points in order to stay atop the division. So I say there's no doubt that we don't see him. And looking at the road ahead, 7 home games in the month of February. Man, did we have fun or what?
Yeah.
Now, March is arriving in a couple days, and Firebirds have 3 home games in March, just 3, and 12 games on the road.
Yeehaw.
Where that 16-4-1 record on the road is going to come in handy for our boys. They're comfy out there. They don't mind not having home cooking. They're used to life, out and about. And looking forward to them to actually solidifying their lead while they're on that extended road trip during the month of March, instead of actually worrying whether or not we can hang on to first place.
Absolutely.
You guys are watching us live, North American Hockey Authority. Ed Heathouse at the top, off-ice official for the Coachella Valley Firebirds. Charles McPike, he is a credentialed Coachella Valley Firebird photographer, media reporter, also doing our engineering here. And we got Dougie, all the way from, I'm not sure where, is Chicago?
Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah, I forgot we were talking about the Flyers.
Philadelphia, original, but an OC resident these days.
So I was born and raised in Virginia, right below you. So we could talk a lot about our rivalry across the way. And of course, the Capitals were never really much. But that's
what are you talking about? Ovechkin saved the league along with Crosby from 2005 on.
This is when I was growing up, though. You know, when I was watching our Capitals there. It was fun.
You have a year or two on me. I forgot about these things.
Just a couple.
So, Craig, how do you feel about the Capitals farm team?
Pardon me?
How do you feel about the Washington Capitals farm team in the AHL?
Who are they?
Hershey Bears.
Oh, well, my gosh, really? So
that explain.
All right.
So that's, I mean, well, maybe I'm giving Hershey a little bit hard of a time. I don't know. It's just the jerseys, man. Those things look like I don't know, like they're still moving or something. I don't want to get too much into it, but it's a brown
color.
Those
jerseys are stuck in the 70s.
Hey, Charlie, can I give you a quick assignment while Craig and I banter for just a second?
Yeah, all right. Hershey
rolled out lumberjack jerseys last week.
Okay.
And I wasn't going to bring it up, but if you just, I bet you if you Google Hershey lumberjack, or all of you listeners, viewers out there, Google Hershey lumberjack jersey and post it in the comment section, and we'll throw you a salute and a thank you for participating, because those were one of a kind.
I mean, I can't wait. I mean, we might have to wait until next show unless Charles finds something there on Hershey jerseys. But hey, thank you for letting me know. I'm in love with the Washington Capital AHL team. Not really. I don't have no affinity toward the Capitals, really, after I moved. After I lost my front teeth falling down on ice skates, I just wasn't as excited about it. But I am now, because you know what? There's nothing like being down there on the ice and shooting and being around the fans in that arena. It's so exciting. And of course, since we're a relatively new team and also had such great success, our community surrounds us at that stadium. So fun to see so many people we know. And then when that win comes in, it's euphoria. And 10,087 folks walk out the door, get their hot dogs before they go. They're winning dogs, and head home, waiting for the next victory that we have. We've had great success, of course, like you said, in February. There it is.
My eyes.
I know.
I actually think they should be wearing these for sure.
These are hysterical. They also had an ugly sweater one. While I was searching for this, they had ones that I'll put these up too. These are phenomenal. Like I'm shocked.
You know, I think, Ed, we should just roll into point counterpoint and talk about jerseys, because you've talked about them quite a bit. I don't think you've been all that excited about our ancillary jerseys, but this one here looks like a winner.
Oh man, you know, let's point counterpoint it in a minute, because
all right.
We
also got to wrap it up, boys. We're running out of time here.
All right. Well, let's point counterpoint, and we'll skip the peeve of the week. How's that?
Oh no, we're gonna let you peeve, but we'll just get to the point counterpoint real quick. I mean, seriously, I do like that jersey. I actually thought that was a good jersey. I think they should use that jersey. It's a lot of fun. It's a little distracting.
It kind of is. I think the spenders are hysterical. Like the detail into the like little bits of detail are great. I can't.
My age must be showing.
Because you love them, don't you?
That. Do we have any Letterkenny fans out there in the audience? Because you know what I'm going to do when the coach walks in the locker room when they're losing 5-0 and he kicks the trash can. I'll clean it up.
Embarrassing.
Freaking embarrassing. That's embarrassing. That's even more embarrassing than the Hershey stained brown that they normally wear.
It's not stained brown, man. It's different color. You go analyze that color, it's going to be its own color that we all recognize. And that's the only, the fact that they win everything is the only reason they can get away with it. So you can wear a lumberjack or.
I got a better one. They've got one. The ugly sweater one is so good, and I have to.
Okay, here we go. Love it.
Please. Anything's got to be better than the lumberjack.
No. Yo, it's Doug. I'm not lying. These are great.
These are wonderful. You know what, Dave will probably start wearing these stickers if we were to.
Yeah, I honestly, we have some marketing missed opportunities here.
Look at this. I mean, this is really something special here.
I would totally buy a Firebirds Christmas ugly sweater.
Me too.
Yeah, tell me you wouldn't. I don't care what you think about it from your standpoint there, Ed, but you would buy one. I know you would, because I've seen the collection of jerseys and sweaters that you have, even ones you could barely wear because they've got skate rips in them.
How about we do a bear shirt? Like, it looks like, they're not really wearing a shirt. We could put hair on it. We could put different that.
We might be giving off the wrong impression here in Palm Springs.
Oh, well, that's true. Although I still think it could be like the muscle ones, where it's like, make them look a little bigger. I don't know. It's a good idea.
Oh,
So
you might have a market here. I'm telling you what. You're using the right nomenclature.
Usually we come back every noon on Wednesdays. I'm not sure about next Wednesday, but hey guys, you are watching the North American Hockey Authority, and we're here to help elevate your hockey IQ. And we've had a great time in show. I've got Ed Heathouse with me, off-ice official for the Coachella Valley Firebirds. Brought his friend Doug in to talk about the Flyers and to keep us up to date about them. And Charles McPike, my great buddy down there below in the engineer seat. See you tonight at the Coachella Valley Firebirds, and as we're playing the San Jose Barracuda. But we're going to leave it off with you, Ed. We get the peeve of the week. That's Ed's peeve of the week.
Here's my peeve of the week. I had one prepared, but
Well, there you go. You know what? That's probably
Hershey's skid mark brown jerseys aren't bad enough. The fake Paul Bunyan stuff belongs on the side of a maple syrup bottle, not on the. Okay.
You don't like maple syrup?
I love maple.
Well, then don't.
So don't get me started on that. That's another peeve. The Jemima stuff isn't really syrup. That's just sugar water. But I'm going to take the last couple of moments to give my salute to Dougie and his Flyers and their absolutely fantastic coach, Freddie Sherrill. Oh. Fred Sherrill was a mastermind. And everybody thought Scotty Bowman was like the ultimate manipulator, button pusher. Fred Sherrill was the first coach to bring an assistant coach behind the bench and have somebody there with him. And what that allowed Fred to do was have that assistant coach on the ice with the players during practice. He didn't even put on, folks. He was a philosopher. He was a stoic. He was a vagabond looking for the next best thing. And he hardly ever talked to the players other than leaving notes in their locker or using the chalkboard in the locker room to give a group message. And I'm going to give this to the Firebirds right now as I end my peeve, which isn't a peeve, but it's a great quote from Fred Sherrill. When the Phillies, I almost did it again. When the Flyers walked into their locker room before they heard Kate Smith sing "God Bless America" for Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, on that chalkboard, it said, "Win today, we'll walk together forever."
Yeah.
How freaking brilliant is that?
That's good.
Freddie Sherrill, well done, my friend. And as I begin to sign off, I have one last thing I'd like to do, and it's a personal note, and I don't do personal notes on this show. You all know me. But those of you who have a hint know that I'm in the beer business. Been in the beer business for 30 some years. Our roots are both hockey and beer, so we're kind of dual present there.
Oh, North American Beer Authority, huh?
Well, I have a new endeavor coming up, folks, which I'll be announcing in a couple of weeks. And I want to say a special thank you to this cat right here. He doesn't even know it's coming. 15 years ago. No, 2015. So 8 years ago.
As I say.
9 years ago. This
The math
gentleman
is nothing.
wrote an article for Beer Paper LA called Unsung Heroes of LA Beer. And I was one of them. And he wrote this. And this was attached to my resume, which got me my new job.
Oh.
Boom!
Yeah. I also noticed it was large format, font format in the back, just for you, Ed.
Just in case someone reading my
Yeah,
resume.
turn that around again. You'll see how big the print is for you.
It's a boomer.
I can read it right here off Ed Heathouse.
Director of Sales.
So I have a new endeavor coming, a brand new startup project, brand new brewery. I'll announce that information down the road. But this attached to my resume, written by this guy, love him to death.
Thank you, Doug.
Thanks.
Hey, Doug,
As many people as I could.
No.
thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. We always love guests in studio. I am Craig Campbell for today's California.com. You've been watching the North American Hockey Authority here from Southern California. Ed Heathouse in the left-hand corner there. Off-ice official for the Coachella Valley Firebirds and credentialed media. Charles McPike, an engineer, down in the left-hand corner. And once again, Craig Campbell for today's California.com. Hey, if you guys are going to the game tonight, make sure you put in the comments right here or hit me up. Let me know where you're at. DM me, and I'll come out there and take a few photos of you and your family. So let's go Firebirds. All right.
Yeah, looking forward to meeting you in person, Doug. We'll see you at the game.
That's right.
Yeah, man. As always, Ed, love you, dude.
See you guys at 7 o'clock, Acrisure. Be there or be square.
All right.
Be good humans.
Signing off, guys.